Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. First of all, is my voice clear? Right, thanks. So, welcome back to our sessions on Python for AI. So, it's day 6, right? So, we'll quickly recap what we have covered in the previous session. Okay. So, in the previous session, we have understood the concepts of, sequence category data types. Under sequence category data types, we have understood bytes and as well as byte array. So these are the two, data types that we have understood. One is bytes, the other one is byte array. Right. So what is the purpose of bytes data type? What is the purpose of bytes data type in Python? Why do we use bytes? Friends, what is the purpose of bytes data type in Python? I want everyone to respond. We discuss str, then we have completed the hands-on, followed by bytes data type, where we, you know, understood bytes data type along with hands-on. Even bytes data type help us to store positive numbers, and it especially help us to store a sequence of positive numbers. Okay, so between 0 to 255, and there is no symbolic notation, and we create bytes object using bytes function. Yes, and bytes object is a immutable object. Okay, so what do you mean by immutable? What is the meaning of immutable? We have understood, right? Good, good. What is the purpose of, what is the meaning of immutable? Immutable is nothing but when you try to change the values. Okay, when you try to change the object, it throws an error. So within the same address at the same location, it does not allow us to change, it does not allow us to update, it does not allow us to edit the object. That is nothing but immutable, right? And bytes object also allows indexing and slicing operations we have discussed. In the same way, we have also understood the next data type, it is byte array. What makes the difference between bytes and byte array of data types? What is the difference between bytes and byte array? The difference, the functionality, the main difference between bytes and byte array object is bytes is a immutable object, whereas byte array is a mutable object. Okay, apart from it, rest of all the points are same between bytes and byte array data types. Both of them allow indexing and slicing operations. Then both of these data types allow us to store positive sequence numbers between 0 to 255. Both of them, they also maintain insertion order. In whatever the data gets stored in the same order, it gets maintained in the memory. Yes. So these two data types were covered as part of the previous session. So friends, if you are joining for the first time, consider subscribing, because we are coming up with, new sessions on the topics, the emerging topics. So you'll get the notifications, right? In today's class, we are going to understand the next data type in under sequence category. It is range. So the range is the last data type that is part of sequence category data type. So what is this range data type? Let us understand. Range is, again, it is one of the predefined class, like how we have the rest of the data types. In the same way, range is also a class, a predefined class, treated as a sequence category data type. And the purpose of range is, to store sequence of integer values. If I want to store a sequence of values, okay, so I can use range data type. And this range data type not only storing the integer values, it also ensures that these values have equal interval. Okay, so whatever the values that we are going to store, the sequence of integer values, they'll have equal interval. Then coming to the mutability or immutability, range is an immutable object. So that means once if the range object got created in the memory, we cannot change them. We cannot edit them. And range object also helps us to perform indexing and slicing operations. Right? So this is an understanding of range data type. Now we'll quickly work on hands-on part with many multiple examples. There are multiple examples for us. Okay. So let us understand the range data type with examples. Coming to range is a data type which helps us to store a sequence of integer values with equal interval. And in order to build a range object, we have three syntaxes. It is not one syntax. Okay, there are three different syntaxes that can be used. The first syntax is variable name is equals to range of value. So you can just pass a value, and this is going to create us a range object. Okay, so within the range function, whatever the value that you pass helps us to bring a range object. When you use this syntax, it is going to give us a range of values from, by default, you'll get from 0 till n minus 1. Whatever the value that you pass, till the value minus 1, you'll get the output. Okay, so here we have an example. We'll quickly understand how range works. Okay, how range data type is going to work using syntax 1. Right. So I'm taking range function, and what is the value that I'm passing? I'm passing 6. Right. So what are the values that I can get? So by default, it has to start from 0, because the values get started from 0. Then what will be the next value? It will be 1. The next value will be 2, then 3, 4, then 5. Right? But can we also get 6? No. The last value will be value minus 1. Whatever the value we pass till the value minus 1, our output should stop. We should get the sequence of integers till the value minus 1. So it is nothing but 5. In our example, so 6 minus 1 is nothing but 5. So when I execute line number 803, it creates a range object that is stored in R. R is an variable. Okay. So in line number 804, we will be printing the R, nothing but the range object along with its type. So let us focus. Let me execute. Done. R is equals to range of 6 is what we have executed. It created an object. It created a range object and it got stored in R. What is the type? It is range. So that is the advantage of using Spider. Range being an data type, I can clearly see here. And what is the size? It is 6. How come it is 6? Because I have values starting from 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4 till 5. In total, what is the size? It is 6. So the purpose of range type is to store integer values with equal interval. What is the interval that you find here? It is 1. So let me print range object. You see here, when I'm printing R, did it give me the values that are present in the range object? No. No. It have given me the range object back. Range of 0, 6. But the type says range. Then how can I access the values that are present inside the range object? Is again using loops. We'll be using loops again. Okay. So what is a loop? What is for loop? We'll discuss. Okay. That is what we have understood, right? So I'll use for loop to access the values that are present inside the range object. Okay. What is the syntax C? For V in R, nothing but for variable in the range object, which is R. What I'm saying, I'm just keeping it as print of V. So whatever the variable that we are using here is V, and V takes each and every value from the range object and it gets printed, right? So let me execute this. It should give all the values starting from 0 till 5. Good. Now, in the same way, can you give me the output for line number 809? The next for loop that we have. Whatever the for loop that we have in line number 809 and 810, give me the output for this for loop, friends. What are we using? I'm just keeping it as range of 11. What does that mean? Range of 11 will give you value starting from 0. Then the next value will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10. Can I also get 11? No. Why? Because the syntax says the output should be value minus 1 only till the value minus 1. So what is the value that you pass? 11. 11 minus 1 is 10 and my output stops exactly at 10. Is it clear? Good, good. Respond, don't sit silent. Okay, we are here to learn, right? So let me execute the for loop. So when I execute the for loop, I'll get the value starting from 0 till 10. See in the console, starting from 0 till 10, I got the output for the for loop. Is the range object returned us? Yes. What type did we use? We have used range. We use range type to store 11 integer values with equal interval. What is the interval, friends, that we have over here between the values? It is 1. See, between two consecutive values, what is the interval that we have? It is 1. So, the purpose of range data type is to store integer values. To store integer values with equal interval. That is the definition. And here we have an example. What exactly is the purpose? So this is the purpose of range. I can store multiple integer values, okay, with which have equal interval. And for this, we can use range data type to store such kind of values. Making sense? Good. Now, probably syntax one is very easy because just passing only a value to get the output. But syntax 2 says not just passing a single value, pass two values. One is start, the next one is stop. So what exactly are the stop and start? Let us understand. When you use syntax 2, range helps us to give the values from the start value till stop minus 1. Okay. So that means whatever the value that we pass for the start, from this particular value, the range data type helps us to give the sequence. Our sequence gets started from this particular value and it gets stopped at stop minus 1. Here we have an example. I'm using syntax 2, okay, to generate the sequence of integers where I'm passing two values, not single value. If I just pass only single value, that is syntax 1, right? So under range, we have total 3 syntaxes. So the second syntax is passing two values, one is start, the next one is stop, right? So what is the start value that we are passing here is 100 and the stop takes 106. So start is 100, then stop is 106. So that means for this particular example, we'll get the sequence started at 100, then followed by the next number. The next integer is 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. Can we also have 106? No, we cannot have 106. Why? Because the syntax is you cannot have the stop minus 1 value in your output. The output has to stop at stop minus 1 value. So that is nothing but 105. So if I execute line number 815, tell me the size of R. I want the size of R. What will be the size of R if I execute line number 815? What is it? It is 6. Why 6? Because it is helping us to store 6 values starting from 100 till 105. Good. Then what if I execute line number 816? It is going to print R, that is nothing but the range object along with its type. Okay, so here we'll get the output as range. But when you try to print a range object, will you get all these numbers? The integer values that got stored in the object? No. So what you are going to get? You'll get range of the same values 100, 106. Let me execute. See. because you cannot directly access the values that are present inside the range object. Okay, so you can access them using only loops. We can access them only via loops. So what I'll do is I'll execute the first for loop, and this is going to give me the values from 100 till 105, one by one, one by one. Making sense? Yep. In the same way, I want you guys to work out on the second for loop. What will be the output for line number 821 and 822? Work out and give your answers. I want the answers for the next for loop that we have. Starting value that we have passed is 90. So the start value is 90. Stop value is 101. So we have to get the sequence of integer values from 90 till 100. Good. Good going. Good going. So let me execute. Since I'm directly using range, since I'm going to use a for loop, so I'll get the values from 90 till 100 as is. Clear? Yep. So we are clear on two syntaxes, both syntax 1 and syntax 2. Now let us understand syntax 3. What does syntax 3 say? Syntax 3 is again similar to syntax 2, but we have a new value coming in. What is this? Let us understand. So the syntax says start, stop. Additionally, we'll also provide a step. Okay. So whatever the values that we have given as part of, str data type, begin index, stop index, and, step. In the same way, we have the three values to be provided in syntax 3. Okay, so within the range function, we have to pass start, stop, and step. So when you are using the syntax, this particular syntax, so this is going to return us a range of values from start to stop minus 1, but with equal interval of step value. Whatever the step that we have provided, so this step will be included as a equal interval. Okay, so it will be added to the start to return as the stop. Okay, so from start, you'll get the values till stop minus 1 with an equal interval of step value. Here we have an example. Focus. So what are the values? 10, 21 and 2. 10, 21 and 2. So what is the start? 10. What is stop? 21. What is step? 2. Just map the syntax, friends. So if you map exactly with the syntax, you can give the value. Start takes 10, stop takes 21, step takes 2. Once after mapping, we know that the sequence should start at 10 and it has to stop at stop minus 1. So stop minus 1 is nothing but 20. So my sequence should stop at 20. But what about the middle values? It will be in the equal intervals of step value. That means to the start value, the step value will be added and it gives the next integer in the sequence. So 10 plus 2, 12, 12 plus 2, 14, 14 plus 2, 16, 16 plus 2, 18. 18 plus 2, 20. Did I reach to the maximum? Yes. So anyhow, I have to stop at 20. So here I'll stop the sequence. Is it making sense? Yep. Anyways, a good question that I have got from my friend. Anyways, range object, range data type helps us to generate the integers in equal intervals, right? So by default, what you are getting here, you are going to get the range, a range of integers with an interval of 1. But what if I want the integers with an interval of 10? Can I use syntax 2 or can I use syntax 1? No. Is it making sense now? So, if you want to have your own requirement, upon your requirement, you are supposed to change the step value, then, you provide the step value within the syntax. So, accordingly, you'll get the output. See, not every time can you get the same output using syntax 2? Not possible. Why? Because syntax 1 and syntax 2 help us to generate the integers. Okay. So whatever the values that you get, they are getting generated in equal intervals only, friends. But just an equal interval of 1 will be considered by default. What if I want the sequence to be generated at interval of 5? Can I achieve it using syntax 1 or syntax 2? No. So that time syntax 3 will be in the picture and I can achieve the output. Now, if I execute line number 828, the range object gets created and that gets printed. If I execute 829, that gets printed along with its type. But can I get the access for the values? No. I'll execute the for loop. So once if I execute the for loop, I'll get these values as output. So these values will be returned as output for the first for loop. Can you work out for the second for loop? By the time I execute the previous for loop, I'll execute all these lines. Meanwhile, I want everyone to, execute the next for loop. You have to provide the answers. So for this for loop, the output will be 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Good. What will be the output for the next for loop? 100, 151, 10. 100, 151, 10. Start, stop, and this is step. So where does it is going to start? It starts at 100. What will be the next value? To this start value, the step value gets added. So 100 plus 10 will be 110. What will be the next value? 110 plus 10, 120. 120 plus 10, 130. 130 plus 10, 140. 140 plus 10, 150. Can I go beyond? No. Why? I have to stop exactly at stop minus 1. So stop minus 1 is nothing but 150 and I have reached the maximum where I'm supposed to stop the sequence. Making sense? So from 100 till 150 will be the output for the second for loop. Good, good, good. The size is again 6 anyways. So let me execute. Let us compare the output. Yes, anyways, the same output. Then what am I doing here? In line number 837, I'm using the same, syntax, range of 100, 151, 10. Okay. And I'm building a range object. Okay. So I have built a range object and it got stored in R. Then what are we doing in line number 838? What is this? What are we doing in line number 838? Don't sit idle. I want everyone to respond in the chat. What is this? I don't want the answer. First of all, what is this? This is called indexing. So what is indexing? What is indexing? Good. Indexing is nothing but accessing one value at a time. So in order to use indexing, what is the syntax? Object followed by, square braces. Within the square braces, we have to put the index value. What is the index value that you are passing here? It is 0. So we know that in Python, index by default starts at 0 and it's nothing but what value do we have at index position 0? It is 100. So these are the index values, right? So at index position 0, we have 100. In the same way, give me the output for line number 839. R of 3. R of 3. What will be the output? R of 3 will return as 130. Why? At third index position, we have 130. R of -1. -1. So we know that index numbers can either be positive or negative. When can we have negative? When we come in the reverse direction, we can have negative index numbers. So R of -1 is 150. Good. R of -3. What will be the output, friends? What will be the output for line number 841? Which value do we have at index position -3? It is 130 again. See. Then, fine. What are we trying to do in line number 842? What is this called? In 842, we are coming up with a syntax, right? What is this syntax used for? What is this called? Slicing. Exactly. In under slicing, we have discussed 5 syntaxes. Can someone tell me all the 5 syntaxes in the chat? Passing, begin index, end index is one syntax. Passing only begin index. Passing only end index. Not passing any of these two. And finally, passing all the 3. Begin, end, and step. So these are the 5 syntaxes that we have understood as part of slicing. Slicing helps us to extract a group of characters. We can obtain a group of characters using slicing. So what will be the output for line number 842? Take time, understand, and give me the output 2:5. 2:5 starts at index position 2, then 3, then 4. So these are the index values. Accordingly, tell me the output for line number 842. Good. So it has to be 120, 130, and 140, right? 120, 130, 140 should be the output for line number 842. Yes, but let us see whether we get the same output or not. I'll start from line number 838. So 838, the output should be 100. Yes. 839, the output should be 130. Good. 840, the output should be 150. Yes. And for 841, we have to get 130 again. But for 842, let us go and check whether we are getting the same output or not. Did we get the same output? Did we get the same output, whatever we have discussed? Did we get 120, 130, 140? No. What did we get? We got again a range object. Okay. So it says range of 120 comma 150 comma 10. Anyhow, it means 120 comma 130 comma 150, 140. Right? But did it disclose the values, the integers that are present inside it? No. Right? So especially, this is very important. Especially when you are trying to access multiple values from a range object, you are supposed to use only loops. You are supposed to use loops. What am I going to do? I am going to run a for loop where I'll be using the same syntax, the slicing syntax, and let me print the values. Now I get 120, 130, and 140. Making sense? So that is how you are supposed to access multiple values from a range object using loops. Right. Then what are we doing in line number 847? 847. In line number 847, I am taking the R, which is nothing but the range object. I am taking the range object, and whatever the value that I have at index 0. So what is the value that I have at index 0? It is nothing but 100 actually. R of 0 is 100. But what am I trying to do? I am trying to update it. I am trying to update it with a new value which is called as item assignment. Okay. If range is a mutable object, it will execute. But is range an mutable object? No. Range is an immutable object. Range being immutable object, it does not support item assignment. When you try to assign an item to a particular index, it has to throw an error. You will get an error which says range is immutable. Let me execute it. Range object does not support item assignment. So why am I discussing each and every point is, especially with respect to errors, it's better if you understand them. Okay, understand each and every error, friends. Don't ignore them. If you understand, you can also increase. You can also focus on your debugging skills. You can enhance your debugging skills. Right. So with this, we have understood the syntaxes of range. The first syntax, second syntax, and the third syntax. Okay. We have also understood the slicing and indexing concepts on range object. And we have also understood why range is an immutable object because it does not support item assignment. Any object which does not suppose item assignment is immutable. Right. All the points we have, whatever we have understood, we have cleared with respect to our examples. Now, there are a few questions that were being designed on range. Okay. So we have questions. Okay. So let us understand one by one. And we also had a note point. It says, whatever the values that you're passing for start, stop, and step, okay, so these values must be integer only. You cannot pass a float value. So that means within range function, can I keep it as 3.4, 1.2, 9.9? No, not accepted. The values of start, stop, and step should be only integers. They should not be any decimal values. They cannot be float. Okay, so this is again one important point that has to be underlined under the range data type. Now let us solve each and every question that we have here. So what is the first question? I want you guys to generate a sequence of integers starting from 0 till 5. Okay, so I want the answers. Ignore the answer anyhow. This is my output. I want this particular sequence of numbers and it has to be done using range. So give me, the values. You can either use for syntax 1 or syntax 2 or syntax 3. It's up to your wish. But I want the answers in the chat. How can I get the values of, numbers starting from 0 till 5? You can use any of the syntaxes. I'm not asking you to, just use only syntax 1 or syntax 2 or syntax 3. Range of 6 will give me all the numbers. Yes. Either I can keep it as range of 6 or range of 0 comma 6 or range of 0 comma 6 comma 1. Out of these three syntaxes, out of these three answers, which one is the correct one? All of the three are correct. All the three, syntaxes can be used to build this range. I mean, to build this sequence, I can either use syntax 1 or syntax 2 or syntax 3. So what I have used syntax 1 here. In order to make it, I don't want to make it complex. So I just went with syntax 1 where the syntax 1 says range function, within the range function, just pass the value. So what am I passing? I'm just keeping it as range of 6 and this is going to give me the values from, by default it gets starts with 0, then 1, 2, so on till 5. All the three are correct. No one is wrong. Okay, all of them are right. So let me execute and check whether this is going to give me the sequence from 0 to 5 or not. Sorry, I just executed a single line. Let me execute the first for loop. It is 0 till 5. Now, the second question says, I want the numbers from the sequence of the integers from 1 till 10. Give the answers. Using range function, how can I achieve the sequence from 1 till 10? Ignore the answer. I want you guys to try. Try each and every question that we have here. Range of 1 comma 11 will give me the answer. Then range of 1 comma 11 comma 1 will also give me the answer, right? Can I also come up with syntax 1? Can I achieve this output using syntax 1, friends? Anyhow, I know that I can get it using syntax 2 or syntax 3. Good. But can I get the same output using syntax 1? Can I directly keep it as range of 11? Will syntax 1 work here? Good. Syntax 1 will not work here. Why? By default, it starts at 0. The sequence will start at 0. Do we have 0 in our output? No. So, range of 11 will not work for us. Either syntax 2 or syntax 3 will work. I'm using syntax 2. Clear. Now I'll execute and I'll get all the values starting from 1 till 10. So if you are clear, if you are very clear on the concepts, whatever might be the question, we can come up with our code. Am I right? Yes, obviously. So that is what I'm talking about. Be clear on the concept. Understand each and every syntax. If you understand the syntaxes and if you perform hands-on, okay, if you practice the coding part, you can work out on any questions. Whatever might be the question, you can build your Python code. Right. Now, the next question is to generate a sequence of numbers, integers starting at 10, ending at 50. But I see they are not, what is the step value? It is 5. I can clearly see between two consecutive numbers, they're not side by side. The first value is 10 and the next value is 15. So for this, how can I or come up with the range function? I want the values for start, stop, and step. Okay. My friend says range of 10 comma 51. If I use range of 10 comma 51, it starts at 10. What will be the next value? The next value will be 11. But do you have 11 in the sequence? No. Syntax 2 will not work. Why? Because if you are going to use syntax 2, by default, only the step default value 1 will be used. But is the step is 5 or is it 1? The step is not 1 here. The step value here is 5. How can you calculate the step value? Take two consecutive numbers. Any two consecutive numbers. Let me take 2. 15 minus 10. It is 5. Or the next two. 20 minus 15. It is 5. Or 25 minus 20. 5. So I can clearly understand the interval is 5. So the step value should be 5. It is not 1. You cannot achieve it using syntax 2 or syntax 1. Obviously, you have to go with syntax 3. So give me the output. It says, anyhow, I have to start the syntax, the sequence at 10. Yes. So the start value will be 10. Then coming to the step value, as we have understood the step value is 5, I'll fix it to 5. Then how did you decide stop value? How did you decide the stop value? We have to cross check in the sense, what is the last value in the sequence? 50. Okay. So add a value or come up with a value which is greater than the stop value. Okay. Ensure that the last value is also part of the sequence. So what is the next value to 50? It is 51. The next value is 51. So if I include 51, am I going to get 50 in the sequence in the output? Yes. How? Initially I'll get 10. The next value will be 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 and 50. Because whatever the stop value that we take, this particular sequence will get ended at stop value minus 1. So exactly here it is going to end. Clear? Yes. So let me go and execute. I'm going to get all these values starting from 10 till 50. But the question raises, fine, let me take 51, it is working. What if I take 52? Even 51 is greater than 50. 52 is also greater than 50 only, right? What if I take 52 for stop? Will it execute or not? Will it give me the same sequence or not? Think and give me the answers. If I keep the stop value as 52, will it execute? Will it give me the same sequence? Yes, it is going to give me the same sequence. Isn't it? Yes. Let us go and execute. I'll execute. See. Did I get the same sequence? Yes, I got the same sequence. Okay, I'll do one more thing. Let me remove 52. I'll place 53. If I use 53 for the stop value, again, are we going to get the same sequence? Are we going to get the same sequence or not? Your answers. Yes, still we'll get the same sequence. The sequence will not change. See. So that doesn't mean you should always confine it to 51. You can make it as 52 or 53, even 54. Even 54. Will it work here? Will it give the same sequence? Yes. Still we'll get the same sequence. I'll execute one more time. I'll get the same sequence again. Okay. What if I keep it as 55? What if I keep it as 55? Will I get the same sequence again? Yes. I'll get the same sequence again. How come? Just use the same concept. Starting at 10, adding 5 to the initial value. Accordingly, a sequence starts and it gets built. What should be the last value? The last value should stop at stop minus 1 value. So it should be 55 minus 1 is 54. Anyhow, I cannot have 54 in the sequence. Why? 50 plus 5 is 55. It is not 54. Right? So that is the reason you cannot get more than 50 values in the output. But what if I change the value to 56? Then the sequence will change. Exactly, my friend. Good. If you keep the value for stop as 56, the output will change. Why? Since the stop value is 56, it means it has to stop at 55, and I can also get in the output, in the sequence, I'll also get 55 as the output C. So this is not resulting as the same sequence. So that means I cannot have 56 as the value for stop. So the last value that we can provide is 55. So how many possibilities did we have? There are in total 5 possibilities. There are in total 5 possibilities. I can pass 51, I can pass 52 or 53 or 54, even 55. So the number of possibilities will be depending on the step size. Okay, all of them are correct. Okay, so these kind of questions you can expect in multiple choice questions. In MCQs, they'll provide you this kind of answers, and they'll ask you to choose. There will be multiple answers. That doesn't mean the rest of them are wrong. You have to cross check properly and select the right answers only. So I hope it is very clear now. Now, in the same way, let us go and understand the next question, where I want to generate a sequence of integers starting from 1000 till 1050. Starting from 1000 till 1050. So I can clearly understand, as I want to start the sequence at 1000. So the start value will be 1000. Then how can I get the step value? Step value you can get by the difference of the consecutive numbers. So 1010 minus 1000 will return me 10. Good. How can I achieve my stop value? Go and check. You once go and check what is the last value in the sequence. In the sequence, we have the last value as 1050. So just add one more number to it. You'll get 1051. Once if you run this, obviously you'll get starting from 1000, the next value will be 1010, so on till 1050. Why? I can just have the output only till 1050. And how many possibilities? 10 possibilities. Good. Now you're on the track. Making sense? So that is how you have to understand the questions that will be part of the range. Not only range, especially if you are going to have a sequence of integers, yes, that can be built using the same syntax. When the step is not by default 1, if it is varying, then you go better use the syntax tree to generate the output. So let me execute this for loop. I should get from 1000 till 1050. Even though if I use 1060, will I get the output for the stop? Yes, I'll get the output. Give me the output. Try it for the question number 5. Generating a sequence of numbers from 100 till 500. Starting at 100 till 500, we have to define the values for start, stop, and step. Is it possible via syntax 1 or syntax 2? No. only syntax 3 has to be used. Why? By default, is it the start value 0? No. Start value is not 0. The starting value in the sequence is 100. So start will be 100, then step will be 100 again. Coming to the stop, just add one more to the value that you have in the final value in the sequence. That becomes your stop. And there are 100 possibilities. You can try it out with any number between 500 to 600. You'll get the same syntax. I mean, the same sequence will be written time again. Even though if you change the values for your stop value. Making sense? So let me execute this. So it will start at 100 till 500 will be the output for this particular question. Keep going, keep going. Right? Then the next question where I'm going to just give me. Yes. So the next question says generating a sequence of numbers in the reverse direction, starting at 10, but the last digit, the last value should be 1. So the sequence should be like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we also achieve such kind of sequences? Yes. Using syntax 3, I'll be defining my values. Obviously, the start will be 10. Then, how can I get the step? Take the difference. 9 minus 10, it is minus 1. It is minus 1. Then, how can I get the stop? Just go beyond it. One value next to 1, it is 0. So, if you see here, the start is 10. Okay. And the step is minus 1, right? So 10 minus 1 will be 9. 9 minus 1 will be 8. Then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As we have the stop value as 0, you cannot have a value. It has to get stopped at stop value minus 1. In the sequence, the last value should be exactly 1. It has to stop the sequence at 1. Good. So, these are a kind of intermediate questions. These are basic. Probably we have got good confidence on basic kind of questions, and these are intermediate questions. We are trying to use negative value for our step values. Yes, these kind of questions can also be expected. Intermediate level of questions. Making sense? So when I execute, I'll get all the values, all the numbers as it is in the reverse direction, starting at 10 till 1. Then what is the next question? The next question says generating a sequence of numbers starting at 50 till 10. How can I achieve it? How can I achieve it? I can achieve it through the syntax, third syntax of range, where the 50 will be my start value will be 50, and the step value will be 40 minus 50, it is minus 10. So negative value for the step. Then where we have to stop? At 10. So since I have to stop at 10, just go beyond it. The next digit that we have in the number system is 9, right? So if I use 9 for my stop, okay. So since the stop rule says stop the sequence exactly at stop value minus 1. Okay, so since I have to stop the sequence, so this is going to stop at 9. I mean, it will stop at 10. So when I execute, I'll get the initial value as 50. The next value will be 40, then 30, 20, and it stops the sequence at 10. Good. So how we are able to identify the step value is also being explained. Focus. Start value, it is very easy for us to take. Step value can be calculated. But the stop value has to be decided upon the last value that you have in the sequence. In the output, upon the last value, you can take, you know, the stop value. And there are 10 possibilities again here. Even here we have 10 possibilities. What are the other 10 possibilities? We can go with 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0 as well. Still it executes. So let me execute the for loop together. So I'll get the value starting at 50 till 10. So far it went well, but here onwards, the questions get, to the next level where we'll have the negative values for start, stop and step. So let us focus on these type of questions as well. So first of all, let me show you the output. The output should be from, the sequence should be from -1 till -10. So that means I want all negative integers as the output. So let us use the syntax 3 of range. Since I want the negative values from -1 to -10. So in the same way, the start value will be -1. Coming to the step, -2 minus of -1. Because take the difference between two consecutive numbers. So it will be -2 plus 1. It is nothing but -1. So that is how you got step value as -1. Then coming to the stop value, what if you go beyond -10 to the next digit, it is -11. So when you keep stop value as -11, the step value gets added to the stop value and the sequence starts. -1, -2, -3, so on till -10 is what we get. Can we also get -11? No. No. Why? Because what does the rule says? It has to stop at stop value -1. At stop -1 value only it has to stop. Okay. So when you do in that way, the last value that you get is -10. Clear? Good. So let me execute it. So this time you have to try where we have the numbers starting from the integers starting from -100 till -50. So without looking at the output, work out the values for start, stop, and step. Try the values for start, stop, and step. What am I going to do? Anyways, I'll start at -100. Then coming to the step, it is -90. Then minus of -100. It is nothing but -90 plus 100, which is 10. So that's how we have decided the value for, step. Then coming to the stop, can I use -49? No, it will not be minus 51. Can I use minus 49? Anyways, I have given you the answer, minus 40. Can I also try with minus 49? I know that if I execute this code, this for loop, I'll get the values from minus 100 to minus 50. But what if I replace the value of minus 49, 40 with minus 49? Will it execute or not? It will. Why? Because step value being 10, there are 10 opportunities. We can have the values from minus 49 till minus 40. All of them will return us the same value. If you want me to try, let me execute. Here I got the same sequence from minus 100 to minus 50. So instead of minus 40, I'll keep it as minus 49. I'll execute the for loop again. Did we get the same did we get the same sequence? Yep, we have got the same sequence. Just if you understand the syntax and if you are able to understand whatever we have discussed on all these examples, you can work out any kind of question. Okay, and one last sequence where I want to generate the numbers from minus 5 till 5. So that means I have both negative integers and positive integers. I have both negative integers as well as positive integers. So let us deal such kind of question as well. Start value, then coming to the step, minus 4, minus of minus 5, which is 1, 5, minus 4 plus 5, which is 1. Then where I would like to stop the sequence, I have to stop at 5. What is the next value that we have for 5? It is 6. Do we have any opportunities? No, this is the only way of getting this sequence done. There is no other opportunity. Why? The step is 1. There are no other opportunities, friends. So when I execute this line of code, this for loop, I'll get sequence starting at minus 5 till 5. Good going. But what if I want to generate a multiplication table? In general, what happens when we were kids? All of us have gone through tables. In mathematics, all of us have been struggle to learn tables. Am I right? Yes. But we can achieve the same table within 2 lines of code using Python. How are we able to achieve it is we'll discuss as part of this example, friends. Okay, I'm using range function. I'm using the range object. So this particular range function where I'll be passing the start and the stop values, which takes values as 1, 11. Okay, so the sequence that we get is 1 till 10. Okay, so these values will be taken by I and it is going to print as a table. Okay, what does this table says? What do we have in a table? We'll have, let me take 9 table. 9 ones are 9 is what we have, right? So I'm trying to get the same output. Okay, whatever we have in the output, we are going to get the same. I'm going to print it using this logic, where I'm using an operator, and this is called multiplication operator. So what are these operators and all we discuss? This helps us to perform multiplication, right? So my logic is very simple. Whatever the value that we are going to pass for the n, that value will be multiplied with the I value. I takes all the values from 1 till 10. Making sense? So what if I execute this for loop? Will I get 9 table? Will I get the 9th table if I run the for loop? Let us see. Let us work out. Okay. So I'm going to execute the for loop. All the 2 lines of code. In a single go, I'm going to execute. But I got an error. What does the error say? It says n is not defined. Yes. Did we define n anywhere? No. If you don't define n, what value does n should take? Anyhow, I takes the values from 1 to 10. But what value should n take? You have to define upfront. So here, I'll keep the value for n as 9. I'll define the value for n as 9. Now I'll execute line number 903 first. So n takes an integer value. It is 9. Now I'll be running the for loop, which will print me the 9th table. See, within just 3 lines of code, we were able to get a 9 table using Python. What concepts did we use? We have used the concept of data types, in which we use the sequence category data type, it is range. Then, what is the other concept? The other concept is loops. We have used a for loop, that's it. That is why Python is very easy, friends. Okay, Python is very easy because of the syntaxes. User-friendly syntaxes is what we have here. And moreover, the lines of code will be very short. Okay, we will not come with multiple lines of code, not required. So by just executing this for loop, I'm able to generate 9th table. What if I want to generate the 9th table, not from 1 to 10? I want to generate 9th table from 1 till 20. So what changes should I make in the code? I want you guys to respond. Answer the question. If I want to generate the 9th table starting from 1 till 20, what changes should I make? Very good. I have to replace the value of 11 with 21. It cannot be 20. Why? If you pass 20, it stops at 19 itself. But what is my question? My question is, we have to generate the 9th table till 1, from 1 till 20. So if I execute this for loop again, I'll get the 9th table generated from 1 till 20. So in this way, if I just change the value for the stop, I can get the multiples of 9 till the stop value minus 1. So for example, if I keep 101, I'll get the values, I'll get the multiples of 9 till 100. Isn't it? Yes. See, it's just taking fraction of seconds. Within fraction of seconds, you are getting the output. Milliseconds. So I'll go back. Yep. Understood how range function helps us, range data type helps us to store a sequence of integer values, okay, with equal interval is what we have learned. Now, there are a few more miscellaneous operations on range object, especially these are with respect to indexing and slicing. Okay, so when you say range of 50, 56, it will create a range object which is going to store the values from 50 till 55. The integer values from 50 till 55 will be stored. Then what am I trying to do? I'm trying to perform indexing. I'm trying to perform indexing. So what value am I passing here? I'm passing -1, right? So which means the last value in the sequence. So this will be 55. In the same way, tell me the output for line number 909. 909. It will be 50. What value did we have at the index position 0? 50. What will be the output for line number 910? Will it be can we get an output? First of all, no, right? That's what we have discussed. When you are trying to access multiple values on a range object, from a range object, we cannot get multiple values. So obviously a range object will be written as it is. Range of 52 comma 56 is the output. So that means 52, 53, 54, 55 should be the output, right? So that can be done using for loop. See, I'm going to run the for loop. Range of 50 comma 56 will print me the values from 50 till 55. Then range of 50 comma 56 of 2 colon. So whatever the code that we have in line number 910, I'm taking the same code and I'm going to access the values. Here I'll get the values from 52 till 55. Clear? Then give me the output for line number, the last for loop, 918 and 919. 918 and 919. What will be the output? I'm going to get again, I'm performing slicing, but it says in the reverse direction. So all the values, all the integers will be printed in the reverse direction. 55, 54, 53, 52, 51 and 50. Good. So this marks the end of range data type under sequence category data type. Okay. So in the next session, we will discuss the next concepts where we are going to learn the next category data types. It is list. Okay. So in the next session, we'll be understanding what is list category data types and what are the different types of data types we have under list category, right? So the task for the day is work out on multiple examples for range data type. In the same way, whatever the syntaxes that we have come up with, first have a quick overview, understand the syntaxes, go through the concepts again, work out on multiple examples. Type at least 100 to 200 lines of code. Then, you can answer any kind of questions with respect to the range data type. When you work out on multiple questions, multiple examples, you can answer any kind of questions. Right, so that's all for the day. And before we post the link, how was the session? Went well, right? So even it was very interactive. First of all, thank you for making the session interactive. And moreover, if you feel the same, just hit on the like button and do share across your connections. And also, if you have any kind of questions, even it might be non-technical, do post them in the comment section. Thank you so much. So a kind of appreciation, a kind of support is what we are expecting from you. Hit on the like button, friends, before you leave. Right. So, yep, that's what we have. I'll be working out with multiple examples for each and every topic that we'll be discussing in future. We'll come with multiple examples. No worries. We'll go and understand each and every topic that we have in Python. Okay. So the feedback link has been posted. Give your valuable feedback and make the session, the further sessions very, great. Right. So that's all for the day. Again, we'll connect in the next session. Until then, take care. Have a great day. Signing off. Bye. So give your valuable feedback. We'll try to enhance our sessions, taking your feedback. Done. Good, good. Thanks. Thank you, everyone.